Once upon a time, in a prosperous kingdom surrounded by mountains and rivers, lived a wise and aging king. His name was King Arthur, a ruler respected not just for the size of his kingdom, but for the strength of his character. King Arthur had 10 sons, brave, intelligent, and each eager to sit on the throne. But as the years went by, the king realized that age was catching up to him. The time had come to choose a successor. Yet this was no easy task, for he loved all his sons equally. But King Arthur wasn't just a father. He was a leader. And a true leader knows, the future of a kingdom lies not in power, but in wisdom, patience, and the ability to handle chaos with clarity. So he devised a test, one that would reveal not strength, not bravery, but leadership. That evening, the king invited all 10 princes to a grand royal dinner. The palace courtyard was transformed into a majestic banquet, 56 dishes of the finest cuisine from across the kingdom. Golden rice, creamy curries, sweet desserts, and rare delicacies only served at royal feasts. The air was filled with the aroma of spices, music played gently in the background, and the princes, dressed in their finest robes, took their seats, ready for a night of celebration. But just as they were about to take their first bite, the king subtly nodded at his guards. Within seconds, the gates flung open, and a pack of ferocious hunting dogs stormed into the courtyard. Chaos erupted. Some princes jumped up in rage, grabbing chairs or cutlery to defend themselves. Others screamed and ran in fear, some even climbing onto tables. One hid behind a curtain. Another ran into the restroom and locked himself in. The lavish banquet was abandoned, and the once glorious feast now lay in disarray. The dogs, however, weren't attacking anyone. They were simply eating, sniffing around the food, feasting on whatever was within reach. The incident shocked everyone in the palace. Servants whispered. Ministers watched in confusion. What had the king done? Was this a mistake, or a test? The next day, King Arthur summoned the royal court. It was time to name the future king. The grand hall was packed. Everyone was eager to hear the decision. But the king, calm and composed, had other plans. He looked at his sons and said, "Before I name my successor, I want each of you to tell me what happened last night." One by one, the princes stepped forward. The eldest said, "Father, I've led armies into war. I thought this was an attack, so I did what any warrior would. I chased the dogs away. I didn't get to eat anything, but I defended the palace." Another said, "I panicked. I thought I might get bitten. So I ran. I hid in the restroom until the noise stopped." Each prince had a different reaction: fear, anger, confusion. Each had a justification. Some even blamed the king. And then came Prince David, the youngest of them all. The king asked, "David, what did you do last night?" Prince David smiled gently and replied, "I ate, father. And the food was truly delicious." A wave of murmurs spread across the hall. The other princes turned to him, surprised. "You ate?" While everyone else was running and screaming, the king asked, eyebrows raised. "Yes, father," David said calmly. "I observed the dogs closely. They weren't aggressive. They were just hungry. I noticed that they were only going after the food laid before my brothers. So I waited. I stayed calm. When the dogs were busy eating from the other plates, I quietly ate from mine. There was no reason to panic." The court fell silent. Then, a slow clap. Then another. And soon, the entire hall was echoing with applause. King Arthur rose from his throne, a proud smile on his face. "This," he said, placing a hand on David's shoulder, "is the mind of a true leader. In the face of chaos, he did not fight, nor flee. He observed, he waited, and he acted wisely. He did not let fear rule him. He stayed focused." Then, in front of the entire kingdom, the king announced, "Prince David shall be the future king." In life, problems will come, sometimes sudden, sometimes overwhelming. People will panic, blame others, or run away. But leaders, real leaders, stay calm. They observe, they think, and they look for the right moment to act. You see, every problem has two sides, fear and opportunity. Most people get stuck in fear. But the few who see beyond the fear, who wait, who think, they succeed. So, stop making excuses. Don't panic when life throws hunting dogs your way. Instead, breathe. observe, and act with wisdom. Because in the end, it's not the loudest voice, nor the strongest body, that wins the crown. It's the quiet mind that sees clearly when everyone else is lost. Be the calm in chaos. Be the David of your own story.